while this is all happening, sorry guys, hey Butsu, this is part 3. I'm gonna get right into it. Out in the woods, remember Rosita and Spencer went out on a run. Unfortunately, Dwight confiscated all their guns, pretty much wasted all their water, and stole Rosita's hat. But anyway, they're out in the woods, and just like Dwight wanted, Dwight also told him, hey, while you're on the run, I know you guys know where Daryl's motorcycle is. Go fetch it for me. So, they're out in the woods, and Rosita and Spencer managed to locate Daryl's motorcycle, where they had previously hidden it. And while that's happening, Spencer's all beginning to question Rick's leadership. At the same time, he's totally unaware while he's talking, Rosita's heading into the woods. Because, Spencer's all talking, questioning Rick's leadership in front of Rosita, and at the same time, he's loading Daryl's motorcycle into the back of this giant van-looking thing they have. But what he doesn't notice is that Rosita's pretty much taking off into the woods, right? And, Rosita, apparently she's hunting down all the undead saviors that they killed. Remember when Denise died? Remember it was Daryl, Rosita, Denise, and later on Eugene and Abraham. Remember, during that episode, Denise ended up getting killed by Dwight, who shot Daryl's crossbow. He was actually aiming for Daryl, but unfortunately got Denise in the eye. And there were a couple other saviors besides Dwight, and a couple of them did get killed by, Rosita, Daryl, Abraham, and, yeah. And so Rosita is hunting down those saviors that they killed during Denise's death, and she kills them, and apparently she's scavenging their corpses, because she finds one of them, I believe his name was Neil. She's scavenging his corpse and finds a gun on him, but unfortunately the gun is empty. There is no bullets whatsoever. And Spencer manages to track her down when he knows that she's gone, right? And he pretty much chastised her, right? It's like, why are you doing this and all that stuff? And Rosita pretty much tells him, I'm looking for guns. Because she's naturally assuming now that Negan is there in Alexandria that she is assuming that Negan is going to take all their guns, which she is technically right, because that's exactly what they're doing. At first, I thought they were going to do it anyway, just like Rosita, but in all honesty, it didn't seem like he was going to, up until the Carl incident in the infirmary, so. But hey, I was just like Rosita, I naturally assumed that Negan was just going to take all the weapons, so they don't have. I believed in the beginning Negan was going to take their guns anyways, because of course Negan doesn't want any Alexandrian to have any advantage against the saviors. There may be more saviors and they may have more guns, but the mere thought of anyone having guns that could possibly go against them, no matter how small they are and outgunned they are, he just doesn't want them to give them any advantage. So in the beginning, I already knew Negan was going to take the weapons. Carl just solidified that by causing a scene, you know what I mean? And, yeah, anyway, back in Alexandria, that one savior chick, Arat, pretty much tells Negan that, yeah, we checked that Olivia girl's list, because like we said, Olivia, she always keeps track of all the food and the guns. She even has a list. And Arat's all telling Negan, hey, we looked at the list, and apparently there's 2 guns missing from the armory. And, of course, Negan's, disappointed, and he's like, so this is Olivia's fault, because like you said, and like she said, she keeps track of all the guns, and 2 of them are missing. And since it's technically Olivia's fault, I will threaten to kill Olivia. But I will spare her, Rick, if you manage to find the 2 missing guns, right? And so Rick calls an emergency meeting for all the residents of Alexandria that are actually there. Of course, Rosita and Spencer, of course, are out, so they're not in the meeting. And then, Daryl naturally is not in the meeting either. But anyway, everyone else is there at the meeting, and, he's trying to figure out who has the guns. He's like, hey, whoever has the guns, the 2 missing guns, or whoever knows who has the 2 missing guns, please give it back. Otherwise, they're going to kill Olivia, because she's the one in charge of the armory. And I'm happy that Rick, he doesn't want to lose any more people. And I know that, Olivia is from Alexandria. Olivia is not part of Rick's group originally, right? But despite that, Rick doesn't want her to get killed anyway. He's pretty much integrated the Alexandrians into his group, and he doesn't want anybody, his group or Alexandrian, to die, right? And I think that's a good thing to see in Rick, that even if they're not part of his original group, he doesn't want that person to die, and But Rick right now, he's just seriously broken right now. You know what I mean? And during that whole meeting, ignoring the question about the missing guns, Eric, which is Aaron's I think fiance or husband, he asked Rick how he plans to get them out of this situation with Negan, and unfortunately, Rick, he empathizes, saying, "Unfortunately, you guys, there is no way out. This is Negan. He's in control. I am no longer in charge. Negan is." And sorry, I need to stretch my legs. Legs. Anyway, I get that Rick's afraid, because I don't blame him, and quite frankly, none of these Alexandrians can really chastise Rick about Negan, because none of them were there. The only one that was actually there was Aaron. Remember, Aaron was pretty much the only Alexandrian to actually witness all this. The majority of the people that were there when Negan killed Abraham and Glenn were mainly Rick's people. The only person from Rick's group that wasn't there was Tara. Remember, Tara went off with I forgot his name, but she went off on a run, and she hasn't been seen since, because she's on a run with somebody from Alexandria. Remember, forgot his name. It's the guy with the dreadlocks. But they're on a run. She doesn't even know that Denise is dead. Tara doesn't know Denise is dead. She doesn't know that Abraham's dead, or Glenn. So she's gonna be heartbroken, because she just started somewhat of a relationship with Denise, and she doesn't know Denise is dead. She had a very close bond with Glenn, because remember, Glenn was the one that rescued Tara from the prison and brought her with him, and they've been around each other since. And then she became pretty good friends with Abraham, because remember, when Glenn rescued Tara, when Glenn rescued Tara from the prison, Glenn and Tara were the ones that first met Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita. So, to find out the girl she started having feelings for is dead, and then Glenn and Abraham? And like I said, Tara is the only one from Rick's group that was not there when Negan killed Abraham and Glenn. And Aaron was the only Alexandrian there. There was no one else originally from Alexandria that was there, that witnessed Glenn and Abraham's death. Just Aaron. So, I don't think any other Alexandrian should really chastise Rick when it comes to Negan, because they weren't there. The only one that could chastise him was Aaron, because he was there, right? But anyway, Rick, he still asks people if they have the guns, and Eugene points out that not everybody from Alexandria is here in the meeting. Like I said, Tara and that one guy, they're off on the run. They've been on the run even before Denise got killed, right? And but the thing was, Rosita and what's his name? Rosita and Spencer are recently on a run too, and Daryl is with the Saviors, right? But the reason why Eugene points that out is because maybe the people that are not in the meeting, which was most likely Rosita and Spencer, maybe one of those two took the guns and did not tell anyone, right? So anyway, Rick, Gabriel, and Aaron, they go into Spencer's house first, because Spencer's one of the two people that are not in the meeting, right? And one of the two suspects. So they go into the house, Spencer's house, to look for the missing guns, and Rick, he pretty much commends Gabriel about what we've known all along, that he pretty much lied to Negan about Maggie being dead. Because, thank goodness gracious, in the beginning, I actually believed it, right? I'm just saying. But Gabriel made up that story about Maggie dying shortly after, Abraham and Glenn. Mainly, to most likely to protect her, right? And Rick commends Gabriel about that, saying, that was very quick thinking. Thank you for that. And Gabriel, he's very optimistic that Alexandria will prevail at the end against Negan and the Saviors. But Rick keeps insisting, there's no way out of this. Negan's in control. But he pretty much tells, Gabriel and Aaron, just look around the house, try to find the guns. And then Rick looks around and he manages to see a floor vent, something in the floor vent in Spencer's house. And he opens the floor vent. He finds stolen food. He even finds a stolen liquor bottle. But then what really, I figured it would happen. Spencer was the one who in fact was the one who stole the 2 guns, because besides the stolen food and stolen liquor, Rick finds a baggie, and he opens it, and there are the 2 missing guns right then and there, right? And as he's going to deliver them, he spots Carl, who is watching Enid at a distance, and apparently Enid is being disgustingly taunted by one of the Saviors, I believe David, the one that Carl had at gunpoint. And you could tell this guy's like a pedophile or something, because he's all like stroking Enid all gross and staring at her like a predator, pedophile guy kind of would. And it's so gross because he's all like stroking her face and making a scene and stuff. And Rick brings the missing guns to Negan, and of course that Negan decides to spare Olivia's life because, like he said, find me the guns and I won't kill Olivia. And as Rosita and Spencer return, Negan gathers all his saviors, because they already packed up everything they stole in their cars and vans and stuff, and he gathers his group at the gate just as Rosita and Spencer return. And they're about to leave in small groups, and as that's happening, Dwight, being a jerk, he's like, oh, thanks for the motorcycle, and since you gave me the motorcycle, here's your hat back. And you could tell Rosita just wants to punch Dwight in the face. I do not blame her. But when they're about to leave, Rick actually notices Michonne lurking in this padded house nearby, watching them, right? And he asks Negan to give him a second, and Negan's like, no. He's like, can you please give me a second? And then Negan permits it. It's like, oh, great. Rick, you're as bitch right now, Rick. It's just not right looking at you. But anyway, Rick, he's talking to Michonne. He's like, I know what you've been doing, taking that secret little rifle of yours and using it as target practice, because I know you're practicing to, kill all of them. And he's like, please, just give me the rifle. Please. And like, I know that Rick's afraid, but you gotta leave something for someone. I mean, Negan's people, the Saviors, they only noticed 2 missing guns. And they even told you what guns they were. And Rick, you found the 2 guns. They don't even know about Michonne's sniper rifle. It wasn't on the list that Olivia had, which means that's not a gun from Alexandria. That's most likely a gun from the Saviors, because remember, they stole weapons from that Savior base a while back. So that's most likely a Savior gun that Michonne had that wasn't registered with Olivia. They could have kept the gun. Rick, you're being stupid right now. But I don't blame him, because he's like, please give me the rifle, because if you keep the rifle and you cause trouble, Negan will just keep killing more Alexandrians, right? And the Saviors, they're just gonna kill an Alexandrian. They're gonna probably kill all the Alexandrians if we find out we actually hid a gun from them, right? And so unfortunately, Michonne hands it over, despite the fact that she didn't have to, because Negan and the Saviors didn't even know about the sniper rifle. But anyway, Rick gives Negan Michonne's rifle, and making up a cover story, because he's like, oh, yeah, she was going hunting for us. That's why she had the rifle. And then, so Rick tries to persuade Negan. He's like, hey, since I gave you this rifle without you asking, can we get Daryl to come and stay at Alexandria? And since they follow the rules, and Negan pretty much asked Daryl, hey, do you want to stay? And Daryl doesn't say a word. And anyway, I'm actually running out of time. I'll see you in, I think, a part 4 video. Is it part 4? But I'll see you in the next video, okay? Bye. Bye-bye.